Hey guys,
Hey guys, welcome back.
we didn't just do a whole 8 minute bit of laughter and things we probably shouldn't have done. So
Yeah, you guys kind of missed it. We'd probably get in trouble for it, but
yeah, but it was fucking hilarious. Maybe we can just put us laughing and then transition into this.
yeah, I think that sounds good. Uh,
Uh, so it's been a while, but we're back
yeah,
happily.
yeah.
Um, I don't know about you, but I've been like battling depression severely for the past 3 weeks. So.
It's been kind of. I was off meds for a whole week, and that was horrible.
Off
Felt
anxiety
that shit.
meds.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
they help with other stuff. I realize, so it's not like just my
they regulate
anxiety.
you.
Yeah,
That's why I was supposed to take mine 3 times a day because they wanted to regulate it. But I didn't like doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Just because, like, sometimes they just make you, when you're not anxious, sometimes, like, they don't make, they help, like, if you start to get anxious, but, like, otherwise, like, sometimes they make you a little bit sleepy or just not as, like, focused or whatever. And I already can't focus as it is. But I've been popping them bitches like Pez lately. Because
yeah.
I've been having panic attacks, like, every day. Every day. And I gotta take two at a time. Like, and then I'm like, okay.
Has there been like a pattern of what's triggering it?
Yeah, let me see. When I got that message on Facebook,
What, weeks ago?
remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one. That was a good start. And then it's been 2 years since like the incident
Yeah,
where I tried to, so that kind of weighed on me because, up until trauma therapy, I never really dealt with that.
yeah.
And then for whatever reason, that just like flooded me. And then my dad's like, I was talking to my boyfriend, and
Oh, that's a new one. You'll have to go back to that.
I will. Um, and I don't know, we were talking about something, and my dad came up, and like I just started crying. I lost it.
Yeah,
I was like, I gotta go call you back, and he was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. He's like, you're not fine. I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
no, but it's cool. I'm not gonna talk about it.
That's what I say. So whatever.
Right. But but yeah, he's my boyfriend now. We made it official or whatever. Not Facebook official.
Yeah.
It's official between us. Like that's enough. Um, but he's really nice, and he like yesterday I was like off like it was man, and then he was like I was kind of quiet for like a couple minutes. He was on his lunch break, and we were just like FaceTiming, and he was like hey, and I was like what's up, and he's like it's gonna be okay, and I was like ooh, like you know what I mean? Because it's like
Aw,
I don't have to say anything. Like he just knows. Like
that
which
must
is
be
just
amazing.
weird. It right, but it scares the shit out of me, and he knows it. But that's why he's like, we'll take it as slow as you want to take it, blah blah blah. Like we can't see each other often or sucks, but we FaceTime all the time. But like he's just very like you know the last time that I trusted someone with all my personal information about my mental health, they use it against me
Right.
later. So I get nervous. You know what I mean? Even though he's like, just talk to me, tell me I want to know. Like, I can't help you if you don't let me. But I'm like, sometimes you can't help. And he's like, well, then let me know that. Like,
Right.
there's nothing that you can do right now, but thank you or whatever. I'm like, why are you
Never
so
thought of
nice?
that.
Right. He's like, you have to talk. And I was like, okay. So I'm working on it.
That's good though. That's good. He
Yeah.
recognizes it, and at the same time he's like, just tell me if you need to go through what you're going through, and there's nothing I could do about it, but at the same time letting you know he's there. um
Right.
and
And it's good.
kudos that he even recognizes that.
That's what makes me nervous though, is because I'm like, you know, he knows that like the past couple weeks I told him like I've been battling like because it's a fucking war like
Yeah, yeah,
trying to because as soon as one thought hits it spirals. Yesterday I stopped the spiral, like I was going down fast, like it was like one thought after the other. I was like stop, because you're gonna just keep going, like
yeah.
stop it, breathe, chill. I took my meds obviously, But then like I tried to distract myself because like I was like I could just feel it going down or whatever. But I feel like, you know, when, because remember, like, I only went through that one long, extensive period, and then it would be like one good day, 2 good days, and then bad days. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now it's like I've been battling every day for it to be not a bad day, but it's like I don't want to make him worry or be like, oh, I'm sad today, but I don't know why. Because then I just feel like stupid, or like he's gonna be like, nah, this isn't for me. But like he already knows, so it's like
Right.
I don't know how to think like that. Like he's like, I'm here for you, like that's what I'm here for, and I'm like, don't love me.
Well, it is an adjustment, and that's what's kind of sad is,
That
you
is what
know,
I'm saying.
not understanding how someone will accept all of it, you know, and also not sending your representative, as we like to call it, you know, just being completely you from the get-go.
And I am.
It's really hard to do. And also, like you said, that fear of like you're opening up and you're getting close, and then at some point, you know, you say something or something happens, and they're like, you know what, this isn't going to work. That's why I put on my
Right.
crazy right up front. And it's
Right.
worked, you know what I mean? They're like, no, I'm good. And then, you know, other people are just like, yeah, no, it's, you know, it's fine. And then years down the road, they're like, fuck, like
Right.
shit. And I'm
That's what
like,
I'm
bye.
saying. Right. Well, it's like the other day he was like, you know, I'm only saying all this because like I'm not gonna say his name, nothing like that, whatever. But like the other day he was like, I didn't like return his call or something, or and I took like a long time to get back to him, which we're usually like on it. We always have everybody always has their phone on them. But like like you just when you don't feel like talking because you don't want to be like a Debbie Downer for somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to pump myself up, like fake the funk or whatever. And I called him, and he was like, "Did I do something wrong?" And I was like,
Yeah.
no. And then I had to explain. And he's like, why wouldn't you just tell me that up front? He's already seen, the video about everything. Like, so it's not like he doesn't know. Like, he knows.
Right.
And I did myself from the beginning. You know what I mean? So that's the good thing. But a part of me feels like that was only my representative because I was so like, I was better. I was happy, like, or whatever. But now
Yeah.
I'm going down. So it's like, that wasn't my representative. That was me. But now it's
Yeah.
the other side. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
But like he loves me a lot and he's super, super, super sweet. So it's like my mom even said he's a nice guy. So like you know what I mean? Like,
There you go.
yo. So I was like, oh, okay. And like, when he talks it's like we this or we that. You know what I mean? It's cute.
Yeah.
It's gay, but I like it. I can't. That's what I teach him like all my funny stuff. I was like, if you ever stop talking to me, you have to unlearn all the cool shit you've learned from me, and you have to go back to being lame. Like, so,
Oh shit.
but like, I say it as a joke, but like, I showed him an episode of Jimmy Fallon for the ew. So like, whenever he's like, I'll be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. I love you so much," and I'll be like, because like that's part of one of them, and he just cracks up every time. Or like he says something, or if I say something, I'll be like, ugh, ew, ow, gay. And he's like, "You're so funny." And he's like, "Take all the time you need." I'm like, "Oh, I am." I'm like, but I have to. It's like I don't know how to not. I don't know how to not have a defense mechanism.
Sorry, I just
What?
ripped my headphones out.
No, it's okay. No, I don't know how to not have a defense mechanism.
Yeah. I've
Like
just been
he
numb, you know, I detach. So I only let myself get as close as I choose, even in like a super long relationship.
but it's not even my but to me it's not my choosing. Like I feel like I'm just wired this way to be like, I'm like I get nervous and I'm gonna push him away on purpose because I don't want him to see all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like you know what I
See,
mean?
yours
Like
is a little different. Mine,
yeah,
I'm just like, go if you want to go. I,
that's what I mean. I was like, well, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Oh, and he's like, I don't want to lose you, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Like, but I was like, it's just I get sad. I don't want to talk. It has nothing
mm,
to do with you. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
so,
Well, especially in
and
your situation, it literally has nothing to do with them. You know what I
it does.
mean?
No, there's like we haven't gotten into like even like a slight argument, like nothing. Like there's no weird shit. Like he knows that I have trust issues and whatever, and like he'll be like my battery's dying, but like he'll screenshot his phone and send it to me so I know that his
Jesus.
battery's like dying, like which makes me feel bad. I'm like, you don't have to do that, and he's like, no, I do it because I want to. Like I want you to trust me. Like build a good relationship. So I'm like, okay,
That's pretty
so we'll
awesome
see.
though.
It is, but I haven't like had to. I've never had to deal with it in a relationship. I've always just hidden it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
or just fake it, like fake it and make it,
Yeah. So
which is hard.
yeah. So there's not really a pattern. It's just like a lot of things just building up
Yeah,
thoughts and then
right.
yeah.
And then that's it. And then and then there's life. What am I doing? What's
Yeah.
my purpose?
Who am
Blah
I?
blah blah. And that can send me down real quick,
Yeah.
like super fast.
Yeah.
And then just that. But I got another job.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll start. I think it's the first week of February. The guy said I'll make more money than I've ever made in my life, so we'll see. Because it's at like this expensive restaurant. It hasn't opened yet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's on
Yeah,
like
girl.
International Drive, which is like where all the convention centers are. Like all that shit. Like expensive hotels and all that stuff. So
There you go.
I know. So
Are
we'll
you?
see.
What happened with the bar? Are you still there?
I'm still there, yeah.
Oh,
But it's been so cold. I didn't work for almost a week. Oh,
oh
for over a week.
Jesus.
I mean, right. So it's like you get one great paycheck, and now that has to last you a month because your next paycheck is only gonna be like 150 bucks.
Jesus Christ.
Right. So it's like I can't.
Yeah, it's not dependable.
No, unemployment still isn't giving me my money. But I did want to share with everybody. Remember I was telling you about that book?
Yeah.
All right. So this is called. There's a bigger version of this book, but it was really expensive. This book was expensive as well, but there's like a thick ass version. I was like, that's what she said. Um, and I was like, but I'll just get the smaller one because but I haven't done it yet. I've skimmed it and teared up because just some of it is like, you know, the answers you have to give are just like, you have to be so honest, which is like hard to do to yourself sometimes. But it's
Yeah.
called Trauma Survivor Strategy for Healing, a workbook to help you grow, rebuild, and take back your life. Which a couple of months ago I didn't think I'd need, but because of everything going on and I don't have my insurance, I was like, I seen it and it was the last one, so I was like, and this is it if anybody wants to know. And it's just like a workbook, and it just kind of helps you work through whatever you're going through. If you can't afford insurance, try to spend $22 on this.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I got this one. This was that matchbook, Burn After Writing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a real match, or it feels like one. And you're supposed to burn it after you write it. And like a lot, like it's like I wish I had never met, and I was most happy when my parents were hardest thing. Like so, it's kind of like a therapy book as well because
Yeah.
it's making it's something that you would not ever want anybody else to see. So that's why it says burn after writing. But
Hmm. I like that. So my
yeah,
friend,
so
where is it? So my friend had sent me something um the other day that he was like, hey, check this out. He basically sent me like an ebook to check out.
the
And
one you were telling me about.
yeah, the problem is I can't fucking find I'll have to ask him to send it again. That makes me sad. But yeah, I don't know. But he sent me one that I have to look up and read. It was something along the lines of that.
Yeah, I remember because I said I'd never read it before. It was like isn't it like the power of something or other?
Yeah. And he was like, I've been reading this. He's like, you got to check it out. So I want to start reading that one. But I also bought that planner thing, and in the beginning and like throughout each month, it has sections where it's like, I want to achieve this month. My goals for the next 6 months, like just all kinds of different stuff besides just being a planner. So I've been trying to do that. It's just hard because I have really bad carpal tunnel. So some days like writing, it hurts and it's just super messy. And because it's like a pretty book, I'm like, I don't want to scribble in it. But like my hands have been shaking a lot too. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, so it's been hard for me to write in it, but I have been, I don't know, it's quite enjoyable so far. It definitely makes you think of things outside of like the present and like outside of that day and all the like stress and struggles with that day.
Hope for the future.
Exactly. And it kind of makes you think like, what do I want?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This one, if you put 5 goals and you write and keep up with them.
Yeah.
Try to.
But like the hard part too is, you know, have you ever been asked like, what do you like to do? Or what are your hobbies? And I'm like,
that's the worst question.
I don't know what I like. I don't have hobbies.
I had
question. Yeah. All that went out.
That right. That question doesn't apply to me anymore.
Right. And then if I write like my actual goal, it's not obtainable. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not though in a sense, because I want to get paid to just scroll through Pinterest and like make amazing boards. Like that's not a real thing. But looking at the bigger picture of it, what do I want? I want to be able to do something that I actually enjoy. I love interacting like with my team and stuff like that. You know, maybe if I finished college and like got my psychology degree, I would be at that point where I could do that all the time. And I love that. But
I don't think we're meant for it though.
Huh?
I don't think we're meant for it. I was going for my degree in psychology too, but it's like, I can't even fucking help myself right now.
But that's the problem. I can help others. Like I'm confident in like taking myself out of it and listening and just giving feedback. That's why I wanted to try being a life coach. But
that was my goal at one point. Ask my mom. Like, or like a public speaker.
Yeah. Well, want to hear something weird? Speaking of that stuff. So I was on my ADP the other day, and it's like, you know, like that's where I do like my team's time cards and stuff. So it's all like decked out, like they made it spiffy for our company or whatever. So I scrolled down to the bottom because I was looking for like my W-2s, and I scrolled down to the bottom and it says mental health advocate and my name's on it. And I'm like, did I sign up for that? Or did they like listen to the podcast and they were like, yeah, we're going to put her there because she knows some shit. But I was like, oh my God, how do I exercise this? I want to exercise this title. I don't know why I'm on it.
It's like, I want to be that for mine. Yeah, I'm crazy. Who's with me?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Like, I know how to like talk to others. It's just, that's the other thing too, though. Like, I know my own shit. Like I understand how I work. It's just some of it I can't change. Like it's just how I am. Or I could change, and it's just like, well, why? I figured it out this far.
Right. Have we now?
You know what? Like I said, I'm going into everyday numb, doing the things, getting it done.
That's bad. That's not what you want. You want to feel something.
No.
Better than feeling bad. I know, that's true.
I don't want to feel anything because that's when things hurt. I let my guard down twice in my life. Never.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Well, you want to hear something funny, but it's not funny. It might make me cry. But no, I'm just kidding. It won't. It did almost that day, though. So I show my mom this book, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, if you haven't been able to tell, I haven't been right the past few weeks. Like, I need help. Like, so I
Yeah.
need this book, right? And I was like, and I also got this book because when I was skimming, like I opened up to one page and it was this page, right? And you can't see it, but it says it's for what are you avoiding? Project test, do my taxes. Reason for procrastination is boring, right? So this is called Thriving with Adult ADHD. And then when I seen that, I was like, well, that sounds about right. So let me pick this book up. So I'm like telling my mom, and I flip to the next page, and it says, getting your priorities together. And she's like, I hope you have a big enough highlighter. I was like, Mom, didn't I just? She's like,
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry. I thought it was funny. I was like, super funny.
Ha, ha, ha.
And then I came into her and cried.
Ah.
And I'm like, the joke's on you because I highlight with every book I have.
Oh, dear God.
I don't own 37 of them for nothing.
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying.
yeah. But the thing is, I feel like as far as like relationships and like letting your guard down, and I've always said this is like the reason I don't believe in marriage is because nothing is promised. You can't promise yourself or promise someone else tomorrow you're going to wake up and still want to be with them. You can have like an intense amount of love for each other, but nothing is promised the next day. So I think that's my reason. I wouldn't say complete detachment, but it's just knowing that. So it's just always being on high alert. Like, hey, if this happened tomorrow, you need to respect it. You need to not beg. Did that once in my life, it'll never happen again. Because looking back at it, it's like, why? Why do you want to force someone to stay with you if they don't want to? And that's how I feel about marriage. Like, you have to get the court involved to be able to separate. Like, it shouldn't be like that. Hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. Okay, so what are we doing? Like, how are we splitting the furniture, or like you moving out? Am I, you know what I mean? It's like right to the chase.
Easier when you're married though, because by law everything's already going to be separated for you. Whereas when you're just together, it's like a war. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
that's the thing though. Like, if one party,
where does the love go?
but if one party decides, hey, I don't want to be with you, if that's being said to me, okay, how do you want to do? Like, I don't have the mental capacity to be dramatic about it or to fight for it. It's just like, okay, so what's the next step? So I've wired myself like that.
Yeah, and I get it because I've had to tell people, why do you want to be with me when I don't want to be with you?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And I don't get me wrong. Like when I was with this fucking asshole, and even though he was abusive and was like, you're nuts, I'm leaving you, whatever, I'd be like, don't do this, da da da, like because hit me, yeah, that's what I want. Like, what the fuck was my problem, right? But then I got to a point after, that incident, I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And then when he tried to fucking take me out, I was like, no, you're going down. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
And his new girlfriend looks like a man, so
maybe it is.
If you've seen it, coffee grinds.
L.
Ow.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
It is, but I think when you meet the right person, maybe you won't feel that way.
But I still don't believe in marriage. Maybe it's because I've never seen it like a real happy one, but I just feel like
I'm afraid to be happy.
Well, yeah, because something could happen the next day. This is what I'm saying, bro.
Exactly. It's terrible. I'm just putting it in a different, like wording, like, Yeah.
You notice every time things are like, yeah, everything's good, something happens.
Pop a tire.
Even if it's something small,
like
something happens.
I know.
So my thing is just don't be too happy or don't show that you're too happy, because the powers that be will be like, oh, you're happy? Oh, thanks.
Yeah, but could that be because we're waiting for something bad to happen?
Well, I think you definitely put different type of energies out there um, when you're feeling
I mean,
certain things, And I remember some guy telling me, because I've had premonitions before, where like I've thought of things and then it happened.
yeah.
And I was talking to this dude outside of a bar. He was like the door guy, and we were talking and it came up, and he's like, premonitions aren't actually real. He's like,
It's
you
the energy you're putting out and it's bringing it back.
well, he's like, let's say you had a premonition that you met someone tomorrow and they talked about cats with you. He's like, that next day you're taking steps without realizing it to make something like that happen. He's like, so let's say the next day someone new starts at your job. You're trying to find a common ground with them. You bring up cats. Oh my God, we're talking about cats. And I was like, well, you just kind of fucked up everything, bro. Like, I thought I was special. Like, thanks a
No, I
lot.
know because I used to too, but I know because that happens to me all the time, especially with shit like songs on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that happens to you. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
you'll think of a song and then it pops up, or you think of someone you haven't talked to in a long time and you'll hear from them that day or the next day or within the week. It's just because that's why they say thoughts become things because
Yeah.
everything is energy. Everything is energy.
Yeah,
So
but
it's like,
I have a lot of thoughts. I messaged you about one last night. Why isn't that being put into the universe? Is it because I don't need it? That's also the question. Is it because that would bring more
certain things.
negativity? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think
But,
about. I think
it's
about
also
$1
not.
million.
It's the actions that you take towards the thoughts that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it becomes like the next level. Then it becomes quantum mechanics or quantum physics. Like, but like that's where the secret comes in, and like that's just the beginning of everything, and then there's everything else. Like when they talk about like obviously like bad things are gonna happen, but what you want in life you can make happen if you because think about like for example, I want to be a writer, right? You want to be a writer. You work actively on writing, but you do nothing to actively put your work out.
Correct.
So how are you going to be a writer if you're not making the steps? If you're not doing something to achieve it every single day, it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. But that's the thing. The more you think about it, the more you're going to do it.
But that's the other thing too, is what stops me is I don't really want people to read my stuff unless I'm like a ghostwriter.
Exactly. Go under a fake name. Use a
Yeah.
fake name.
I put my shit on Wattpad. No one has read it yet.
Well, it'll get there.
Yeah.
There's a picture I have of like this really creepy alien holding like a cat with no fur.
Ew.
Her picture. It's like a cartoon drawing, but it's funny. Like I've always wanted like I don't write the way you do, but I've always thought that I could write a book because I've seen my life.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
but
thought that too, like write about my life, but there are certain parts where, after so long, sometimes you misconstrue like little pieces of it, which turn into other things. So it's like each time you think of your childhood and stuff, there's a little piece that's either missing every time. So eventually things drop off. So like
yeah,
I
and then
have
go
memories.
into the next.
Yeah, so I have memories where I'll say stuff and my brother would be like, "Oh, I don't really remember that part." And I'm like, "Did I
My
make that
brother too.
up?"
Me and my brother too. We both of that. But like but I thought like I couldn't write about it until something like amazing happened to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's like, what am I telling people? Like I don't have. There's not like, you're like stay tuned for part 2 to see if it gets better.
And then put like in parentheses, it doesn't.
It does. Don't say that. But then when I was at the bookstore the other day, spending my savings on books because I love to fucking do books. I was like, you know what? I am gonna write a book, and it's gonna be called something along the lines of like, if you've read ever, or like, something like, you don't have to read any more like personal development or self-help books. I've read them all, and this is what I've learned. But it's true.
Oh no, I know, I get it.
I own all of them. Guess what?
It's all shit. Someone out there that was like us, that was like, you know what, I'm gonna write about things that I've learned through life and give different ideas for them to work on it, and then these are how the books are published. And people like us kind of sit here like, yeah, okay, I want to do that, but there's different, for everyone there's going to be a different path that they have to take to
That's
pick things up.
and not all books are made for the same person, because there's
Right.
certain books that I've read that I physically, no, I mentally cannot apply
Yeah.
because of my ADHD or my anxiety. Or like, I don't have good executive functions right here, right? I'm impulsive. Fucking fix, bro. Like, I'm impulsive. I can't, like, I don't know how to get my priorities straight. I wait till the last minute. I'm a procrastinator. Like, I'll wait till things are worse to fix them instead of just fixing them first. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So not all those books can apply to me until I fix certain things. And that's
Right.
what, not every book is tailored to fit everybody. Like
Right.
Tony Robbins, like, your book's not going to work for everybody because not everybody can do that mindset. Or, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
capable of what you're talking about. I've never read any of his books. He reminds me of some like creepy camp counselor or something. I don't know.
But yeah, that's what I mean though. You know what I mean? Like every book has these different types of steps and, ways to like work on yourself, and not it's going to be a different scenario for everyone, because it also depends on at what point in your life are you picking up that book. You know what I mean?
Yep. And
Like,
that's why, like, I got these books that I got because they're specifically tailored to what I need right now.
right.
Most books that are self-help and personal development, they're so broad and not vague because they all have their,
Yeah.
thing, like their niche, like, within the book. But, it depends on where you're at, like, what are you trying to do? And
Right.
some books will try to tell you, like, it doesn't matter if you want to do this, that, like, it'll help you. But if you have underlying issues, like, then you need to get books that are specifically tailored, like, to trauma, to ADHD, to, BPD, bipolar, whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
work on that book before you go to the broader things, like fix, the central issue, I guess, if you will.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think
We could write a book.
at the end of the day, I think the first step to it that a lot of people look past is knowing that you have something you need to fix. Instead of going through life and understanding, oh, I do this because of this. It's like, yeah, but how do you fix that initial thing so you don't have to do that? Like you come up with all these coping skills, but it's like there are definitely certain smaller things that you could adjust that will eventually trickle to the bigger things.
Of course.
It's just recognizing that.
Day. Exactly. And then you have the problem like I had, where we talked about before, is like where but you don't do anything about it.
Right.
You know better and don't do better.
Right.
Or, before you go to do something, like, I shouldn't be doing this because this is just a coping mechanism because I'm feeling this way. I've been battling the past 3 weeks with, like,
Right.
I'll just throw it out there. I don't care. Like, with cutting, like,
Yeah.
self-medicating, like, it's been a battle the past 3 weeks. I didn't, thank God, but I wanted to, like, because that's how I cope. But I don't want to cope. I want to heal, like, and that's the problem. So it's like, in the past where I would always, know better but never do better. It's like now it's like, put that into effect, like do better. And it's like, it's not even about like, beating yourself up. For anybody listening, you're not beating yourself up. It's just you know, it's being honest with yourself. And that
Right.
is the hardest thing to do.
Right.
It's the hardest thing to do is to be
Yeah.
honest with yourself. I'm gonna send you some of the pages of that book, Burn After Writing, and
Yeah.
just seeing some of the questions, like I was tearing up in the store
Yeah.
because I was
I
like,
was gonna say you should, because remember how last time we had a challenge that was a little too broad for me. I want to see some of those questions so I can write them out, because I am curious.
yeah. Some of them though, like it's like I would read them and like I was like just thinking about writing it made me afraid
Yeah.
because you know it's just hard to be honest with yourself sometimes, especially when you know that you're the problem.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean relationship wise. That means within yourself. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you
And
said,
it's not like um I don't know, it's like saying you're the problem, but not in that negative type of way. Like
exactly.
you're the part that needs to be fixed in order to help yourself have like a better life. You know
Right.
what I
Like
mean? A
it's you
better
have to take
mindset.
your ego
Yeah.
because that's what controls everything and put it to the side
Right.
because that's what's telling you like, oh no, yeah, do this because it's gonna help you cope. Like, you know, it's telling you to do the things that make you comfortable because it doesn't want to be taken off autopilot.
Right. And it doesn't want to stir up all that stuff because it's so unpredictable.
And
Like if it stirs stuff up, how am I actually going to react to it? At what point will, like, on that day when I decide to dig stuff up, where are my initial chemicals, brain chemicals at? And can they function correctly if I stir that up? Or will it trigger me to just fall really hard? You know what I mean? That's the uncertainty of it.
okay, I've been watching this show and I should have stopped like, you know, a while ago, but I didn't.
I was going
It
to talk about this, walking
what?
into triggers, knowing shit's a trigger and just going
No,
for it anyway, or
exactly.
looking for stuff. Yeah.
After a few episodes, I was watching it, and it was just like. But as I watched, there wasn't something that happened to these characters that did not happen to me.
Yeah.
So it was just like trigger after trigger after
Yeah. I
trigger
should stop
after trigger.
watching.
Should have. However, this is life, and I'm gonna
Right.
see these things. So it's almost like I don't want to say like I'm a masochist. I mean, but like I did it on purpose. Like I
Is that
wanted
how you condition yourself, like with the other stuff we talked about previously?
right.
Yeah. See, I can't handle that type of.
I know, and it's like it's hard to watch sometimes because it's hard to watch just because like the way that it looks so real. This is what I battle. Like not watching it because I know it's gonna trigger me, or watching it because I want to be able to feel it, so I'm not building it up, let it out, and then try to move on.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Like my own kind of therapy, I guess. Like if I see it, I'm dealing with it. Like because I'm gonna see it again eventually. I don't want to see it in the wrong place and then be taken like so aback by it that like I'm in front of people and start crying. You know what I mean, or something.
I mean, that
That
definitely makes sense.
like so it's like I'm almost done the series now. So and I wanted to see that it got better,
Right.
and
But
it
so
does.
with something like that, though, do you think you should be watching it alone? Like, what if that triggers like a really bad spiral? You know what I mean? To like
I
where
know.
it's
Well,
inevitable, you're not going to handle it well, even though like you're doing it to condition yourself. So in the future, it doesn't affect you as much.
and also not to feel as alone, if that makes sense. Like I'm not the only person who deals with this. Like you
Right.
know what I mean? Like I tried to look at it like that, and it's like well in the show there's a girl like the main character like she goes through so much shit, right? And then there's her sister who gets abused by her first husband, like sexually abused or whatever, right?
Hmm.
This other like the main character like she went through hell with this guy, like he kicked her in the stomach when she was 8 months pregnant, like he's the one who was abusing her, raping her, this and that, and anything that happened it just made her stronger and stronger, right?
Mm.
And this little girl, her life was wrecked for like 13 years. Like she was like just she got into drinking and drugs because she didn't know how to handle what happened.
Right.
So it's like you got to see like two kinds of people, like those who can handle it and then those who can't. And then
What
there's like
show
other
is this?
characters. It's in Spanish. It's called I don't even know how to say it in English. It's like the Butterfly of the Hood, pretty much. Like, but it's a story about a singer, and she's a Mexican singer. She lived in California, Jenny Rivera. And the show, you can watch it with subtitles or you can watch it dubbed, but it's on Netflix and it's amazing.
Mm.
It's just very like, whatever. They end up going to court and stuff, but the same thing happened to her daughter as well. He abused their own daughter, both of them, and her sister, and they were around the same age.
What the
Like,
hell?
yeah. And the daughter, like, she grew up and she was fine and she just kind of let it go or whatever, but that other girl, she just couldn't let it go. Like, she like couldn't trust men. Like, she just,
Yeah.
fucked whoever because whatever, it's just like it was just good to see like different dynamics of how people handle things because not everybody can handle something the same.
Right.
I held everything in for years and years and years and decades, and then it just crashed on me. I caved
Right.
in on myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just say rebuild
Yeah.
without falling back apart.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's when you start to unload and finally allow yourself to feel the things that you didn't allow yourself for so long, it's going to hit a different type of way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you start looking back on the effect that it actually had, even though you told yourself it wasn't bothering you. You know what
Right.
I mean? So it's like once it hits you, everything you went through, looking back, you're like, and that's why that happened. And that's why I did this. And that, you know what I mean? So it's like, obviously holding stuff in, doesn't benefit anyone,
Mhm.
but it's also like, when things happen when I was like 9 years old, mentally, I wasn't capable of understanding what
And
was going on.
stuck there.
Right.
I've been saying it's okay since I was 8. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's fine.
Yeah,
But it's also
exactly.
why I had the mentality sometimes of that person because I
Right.
can't, you
Yeah.
lose like.
Or you think it's normal at a young age too, like when you go through things or see certain things, it's
Yeah.
like, oh well, this must be how things are. And
Right.
I've had not even like negative parts of that, but even like, I think I've said it before, when I was little, it was like, how do people have apartments? How do people get
Yeah.
cars? How do they afford this stuff? So for me, all those things, that wasn't something that was obtainable, because I
Right.
was like, I've never seen that. And if you had them,
Right.
you were rich. But then growing up, you look back on it and you're like, all right, so that wasn't normal. I thought it was normal, but that's not how the world actually is, So even
Right.
stuff like
It's
that,
healthy.
yeah, even stuff like that, when you grow up, you're like, what the shit? you know I don't know, it's
No,
fun.
I do, and that's why it's a struggle right now with this guy. Because I'm like, I don't. It seems like this is what a healthy relationship is supposed to be like, but I don't know what that is.
Right. And you're waiting for
So
the
it's like,
unhealthy to shine through. Like what is going to go wrong in this relationship where it's like, ha, okay, so this wasn't a healthy relationship. This was,
right,
the beginning, and now it's this. But also, I think that's the biggest part, is not allowing that to um, kind of control the relationship. Like, I'm always prepared, but I try very hard to not manifest it, if you will.
exactly. I know. But I mean, it's just it's healing in general is just a slow process,
And it's
and
a
we
bitch.
cope
It's
for so
painful.
long. It's so painful, and we
Yeah.
cope for so long thinking that that's the way, like that coping is what we should be doing,
Right.
and that's not your fault, our fault. It's nobody's fault. It's apologize for how you had to survive, pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
And but that's your brain. It's like, well, I'm not dealing with any of these feelings, so this is what we're gonna do to cover that up.
Yeah.
It's just
Basically.
gonna make your life worse, but you're gonna think it's going better.
Well, yeah, it's going to make your life worse later on, but we're not thinking about that. It's the now. this is how you have to cope in the now.
Right. Exactly.
So your brain
30 something and you're like, oh shit, I'm fucked up.
Yep.
And then you have all these books with highlighters.
Yeah, exactly. I get stickers too. And my planner came with them.
With stickers. I was like, stickers? Important.
Important, yes. Shut the book. All right. What was I doing?
See you next
Not
year.
the important thing. Yeah. Oh my God.
This was so good. This was a good one.
Right?
Yeah, this was good. We're gonna get a good thing. This is good because it gives us a chance for people to feedback or relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
I did. It was nice to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
I don't have insurance. I need therapy. So here we are.
Woo! All right. Well, on that note, we'll wrap this one up.
Please.
Yeah. We'll see you guys again
Soon. Sooner, yeah.
Yeah, let's go with soon.
I was avoiding because I was upset, but when you said you wanted to record, I'm like, I want to do it because I think that it's time to talk about stuff.
Yeah, no, totally. Sometimes I'm just like mentally lazy, and the idea of having to talk, I'm just like,
yeah. But you were so like vibrant today.
I know, I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm running with it, yo.
Talking to me. Sorry, where'd you hang out? It's over. No,
right? That's why we got to do it more, especially when we feel bleh.
That's why I know when we first.
But it's just the lazy part. It's like I'm mentally lazy, so it's like, oh, I don't want to talk, or like I'm just dumb, like I'm lazy dumb, where I'm like I can't even form a sentence today.
Right.
That happens a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, did I have a stroke or something? Like I can't like actually make sentences some days, and I'm just like,
because your brain's done, it's tired. That's it.
Yeah, it's like stop thinking all night while you're trying to sleep, you idiot. Stop making up scenarios that make you go in the bathroom and cry at 2:00 in the morning. Like, fucking go to sleep.
Word up.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Yeah, I know. Trust me. Wait, so AJ, real quick, AJ was making me do this like try not to laugh challenge or whatever those things they have on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it was this guy who was like, I think he was like trying to be, or maybe he was like stoned or whatever. And he's like, what if we can't fall asleep because the sleep portal is full and you can't fall asleep until somebody else wakes up? Or he's like, the sleeping server is full and you can't sleep until somebody else wakes up. I was like,
shit right there.
I was like, we do live in the Matrix. But it made me think. I was like,
dude, it's valid.
It is. It's very valid. Especially
because,
because in the Matrix, everything's plugged into a server, right? So it's like why can't I fall asleep? Because
did I tell you the random thing, the genius idea I had when I was younger, and I was like no. Totally high as shit. I thought up this amazing theory that your social security number is like a barcode, and that's how many times you're going to sneeze throughout your life before you die. Genius.
19 million for me.
Yeah. So like there's no way to deny that, because no one comes into this world counting how many times they die.
Well, fuck. Well, it's been like twice for me, but here I am.
How many times you sneeze?
Well, I want to start keeping track.
Good luck, because you don't even know what number you're on right now.
Huh?
You don't even know what number you're on right now. But that was my theory.
If I make it to like my almost deathbed, I'll be like, okay, when I was 32, since then I've sneezed this many times, so we can presume that from this year to 32, or from 0 to 32, it's about right.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, keep an eye on that. But that was my genius theory. And then the next morning, I remember sitting up and I'm like, huh, it's actually not bad. That's
I don't know why it didn't start happening then.
Because I was high all the time.
I didn't realize. I forget you used to smoke.
Yeah, we would drive around and like just like smoke like nonstop, and I'd be like, all right guys, can you take me home? And I would go home, I'd put on my music, and I would write.
Yeah.
That was my thing. And then the best parts were, you know, once I would wake up the next day, or you know, I wasn't high anymore, I would read it and I'm like,
Did I do
what does
that?
this mean?
When
And
did
then
Einstein come and write in my book?
yeah, some stuff was so good, but it was so dark, and I was like, guys, I gotta stop smoking for a few days. Like, I wrote some scary shit. But I still have one of the books.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I actually have it in a treasure chest over there. I'll have to open it and show you it. It was on a Amy Brown fairy notebook that I call her my pseudo mom, Paula, got for me, and it has like a fairy on the front and stuff. But yeah, I just remember waking up so many times and I'm like, the fuck did this actually mean? Like, I'm so confused right now, but some of them are really good. So,
well, then pop that book out. Maybe there's an idea.
I don't think I need any of those ideas. They were pretty rough.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of the spot?
The world may never know.
I know. I tried counting at the end
One,
of the time.
a two, a three. I love that fucking owl.
The guy was like, "Dude, I want an owl." I'm like, "It's illegal. You can't have an owl."
I want
He's
an
like,
owl.
"Really?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "But like, I would love one because they're very connected to like spirituality and stuff like that." But you know, you know. I want a baby raccoon and no one's fucking giving me one. So
Jesus Christ. Have you, next time you see a raccoon, can you feed it Doritos?
Yeah.
Best thing in the world. So super quick. We were at Grammy's one day and there was a raccoon like off, like down on the ground, and like we were on the deck. And so we had Doritos and we were throwing them down, and because they have little phalanges, it was picking it up and it was like eating it like this, and I'm like, oh my god, and it was getting like little cheesy fingers or whatever. So I was like, all right, dude, they're so cute. So I was like, all right, buddy, like that's, you know, that's it, that's all we have. Bruh, this thing that like, so the deck, there's like a beam, you know, from the bottom, dude. He like started climbing up, and I'm like, oh my god, he wants more fucking Doritos. I was like, get in the house, like the kids are out there with me. I'm like, go go go, bro. He came up the deck and like did this on the door. Yeah. And he's like just staring at us, and he has these little orange fingers and it left little prints. I was like, oh my god. But he was like just sitting there, and he's like, I'm like, dude, we don't have any more, you ate them all. So like after like probably like 30 seconds, whatever, he's just sitting there, and then he like gets down and he like walks over and he looks back at us, and I'm like, I don't have anything, and he left. I was like, this is like the most insane
I'm gonna send you a video. There's a video that I have of I called him Ralph the raccoon, and we were like at this like little lake place or whatever. This was like this past year, and there was a raccoon that was clearly used to being around humans because it was like kind of walking around or whatever, and I had food and I would throw it like closer and closer. Was no fear at all. It was coming up right next to me. I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna feed it, right? So I get like this big piece of bread, and it comes right up to me and like takes it out of my hands and just starts eating it, right? And you just see me jumping up and down like, because I love raccoons. I want one so bad.
They are very cute.
They're all over the property. I just can't get a baby one. I want a baby one.
Yeah, you get
that way I know they're not infested.
Infected?
No, like with rabies. Well, yeah, I just say infested. Can it be both? Anyway,
sure.
My friend's like, she's like, what if you got rabies? I'm like, worth it.
Yeah, right? What if? Who cares? We're all gonna die from the sun one day.
You know, like a shot you can get or something. Have you seen The Office when they do like the rabies, like relay for rabies or something?
No.
And it's like, there's no, you know, foundation for people who get bit by an animal with rabies. Like, and that's all. So on that note,
I pull them out so often, and it hurts my ears. because I
Yeah.
like just throw my hand down. It's like ah,
Those
fuck.
aren't mine in general, because like my ears are so tiny,
Yeah,
and they like if I wear them in for too long, like it hurts. I have to take them off.
it's the problem with having tiny holes.
You could thread a needle. Anyway,
All right, guys, we're officially gonna go now. Dun-dun-dun. Yeah, we'll see you
well,
guys soon. Until then,
yep.
take care, be safe, be kind to yourself.
Be kind to others.
Yeah, those people too.
Yeah.
And
Have the day you deserve.
yes, and wrap it up.
Twice.
Bye.
Bye.